Good day, children. I hope all are safe and sound. Today, I'm here to take a chapter from economics. The story of village Palampur. Just to remind you one thing, for this chapter, we have two videos. The first video is named as the Hypothetical Village Palampur, and the second video is named as the Factors of Production. Now, in this particular chapter, we are basically briefing you up about a village called Palampur, its history and the various factors of production. In this particular chapter, we are basically giving importance to production. Production is the key to economic development of a country. It is the key to the economic development of a country. The economic development of a country. To mean to say that if the production is more, there will be more economic development of a country. Thus, it is possible for a country to have more GDP. Thus, the country will prosper. Now, under the production, we have two different kinds of production. One is agricultural production, which is connected with the cultivation of crops or agriculture or farming. I repeat, agricultural production mean to say which is connected with cultivation of crops. And the second one is industrial production, which is connected to the manufacturing of goods. Now, the different facts which is connected with the villages of India. We are all aware that 70% of the population in India still lives in villages. That is, more than half of the population in India, they are still living in villages. And these people in villages require various goods and services. And many of them are produced locally. That is, in their own villages. Whatever the goods and services that they need, they produce it in their own villages. And that is, a village is the best way to understand the concepts related to production. So, we have taken a hypothetical village called Palampur. To mean to say, hypothetical means it is not true. We are just assuming that we have such a village in India. This village could be either in north, either in south, or in east or the western part of India. For us to understand the basic concept, we have taken this village. Now, we are going in detail with respect to Palampur, the story of Palampur. The first point is the transportation. Under the transportation, Palampur is well connected with the neighboring villages and towns. They have an important neighboring town called Raiganj and Shahpur. So village, that is our village, that is a Palampur, is connected to Raiganj and Shahpur by a all-weathered road. All-weathered road means it is very good road. Either it is tarred or it is concreted. So, since they have very good road, it is possible for them to, that is the people of Palampur, to go to Raiganj and Shahpur. Then we find lot of transportations in Palampur. Example, they have bullock carts, tongas. Tongas means the cart which is driven by horse. Then they have motor vehicles too. They have motorcycles, jeeps, tractors, etc. Then they have families. As we are aware, many families together makes a village. So they have around 450 families of upper caste, of different caste. They have 450 families of different caste, out of which 80 families are upper caste who owns the majority of land and they live in big houses. Apart from these upper caste families, in Palampur we have Dalits too, that is the scheduled caste. People also stay in Palampur. That is 1/3 of the population comprises of these Dalits. And they live in one corner of the village and in small houses. Now with respect to electricity, almost all the houses have electric connections. All the houses are having electric connections. And electricity is also used for many other purposes. One is to run tube wells. One is to run tube wells so that they can irrigate in the fields. And the other purpose is like for running of small businesses. Then with respect to schools, as we all remember in olden days, the children had to walk miles and miles in order to reach the school. But it is not the case with Palampur. The children of Palampur were fortunate to have schools. They had 2 primary schools and 1 high school. From this we understand that the people gave importance to education. Then they gave importance to health too. That they had primary health center and a private dispensary. That is, they had one primary health center which is run by government, and they had private dispensary where the sick were treated. So they gave importance to health also. Then the last of which is the different kinds of activities the Palampur had. One is the farm activity that is connected with agriculture. And the second activity is the non-farm activities. That is, apart from farming, there were some who used to have other works. They were engaged in other activities like dairy, then shopkeeping, then they had computer centers, tuition centers, etc. So, these are the basic activities that is available in this particular village called Palampur. Before I conclude, I would like to recapitulate this through PPT. As we said about production is the key to the economic development of a country, and production is divided into two: agricultural production and industrial production. Agricultural production is connected with cultivation of crops, and industrial production is dealing with manufacturing of goods. In the next slide, it basically telling you about the different facts of a village. That is, over 70% of the population in India still lives in villages. People in villages require various goods and services. And many of these goods and services are produced locally. And a village is the best way to understand the concepts related to production. For that, we have taken a village, a hypothetical village named as Palampur. And we are going in detail with respect to the story of Palampur. The first one is the transportation. As I said, Palampur is well connected with the neighboring towns. They have two important neighboring villages or towns called Raiganj and Shahpur. And this Raiganj and Shahpur, it is possible for the Palampur to go to these villages only because they had all-weathered road. And they also had a lot of transportations from bullock carts to tongas to motorcycles, jeeps and tractors. Then we understand even they had families, around 450 families of different castes, 80 upper caste families who own the land, and they all live in big houses. And they too had the Dalits, that is the scheduled castes, which comprised 1/3 of the population, and they live in one corner of the village and in small houses. And another important thing with respect to Palampur is electricity. They had, almost all the houses have electric connections, and these electricity is being used for different purposes. One is to run the tube wells so that they could irrigate the fields. The second one is they used for various purposes, various types of small businesses. And the next one, as I said about the children of Palampur were fortunate to have schools. They had 2 primary schools and 1 high school. Then from that we understand that they gave importance to education. Then they gave importance to their health too. That we understand from the primary health center and the private dispensary. Then they also had the different activities. The 2 main important activities of Palampur were farm activities, that is, which is connected with agriculture, and the second one is the non-farm activities, that is, which is connected with dairy, shopkeeping, computer centers, tuition centers. I hope it is clear with this part of the video. Thank you and have a great day.